Hello, and welcome to a new episode of Corey and Kevin Talk About Nothing. If you're tuning in for the first time,
I'm Corey.
I'm Kevin, and welcome to our podcast talk show.
Yes. Welcome.
Yeah, a great way to start your week off.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Or depending on when you're watching this, your weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anytime, brighten your day. Knowledge.
You know, why don't you tell us when you're watching us? Actually, that sounds really weird. Go ahead, Corey.
All right. So before we get started, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button so you get notifications when we drop new content on Mondays. Then, if you want to, we started a new blog. If you want to try to, find the link to our blog and kind of read, our thoughts, or if you have anything you want to add to the blog, click the link tree in the comments below. We'll tag it down there. And then if you want to shoot us any emails, if you don't want to go to our blog, you can email us at cktalkaboutnothing@gmail.com, or you can tweet us at CoreyKevin1.
That's a mouthful you got there.
That is a mouthful.
Yeah, hit us up. Let us know what's going on.
Yeah. Tell us how you feel about it.
Yeah, if you hate us, keep listening. If you love us, keep going.
Absolutely. Yep. We'll talk your ears off, that's for sure.
Yeah, for 63 episodes.
Yep.
We have if you're tuning into the YouTube video today, you can actually see a special guest laying on a food the ottoman there, Jackson Brown, taking a snooze.
Yes.
Just passed
enjoying
out.
Life over there right now.
So he sleeps 99% of the day. Yeah. That other 1% is him barking at us and eating.
Going outside.
And
right?
going outside, yeah.
Yeah.
So, what'd you get into?
I mean, nothing really. Nothing too much. Watched
I was gonna say, you watch anything?
I watched what's that show called? I already forgot. The one I was talking about last podcast. Oh my gosh. It's the
No Man's Land.
I'm literally drawing a no, yeah. I'm drawing a blank. Something Borderland. Alice in Borderland.
There you go.
Okay, so I finished that, and just want to say, I mean, it truly. I talked it up last podcast. I think I was up to episode 3 or 4. I don't remember when I was last podcast. I talked it up through there, and it ended just as high as the rest. I mean, ending, but the ending of it, it's confusing, just like everything else. I mean, it's leading up to the next season, so there's always questions to lead on.
And how many seasons?
No, right now there's only one. There's like 8 episodes.
Okay, it's a Netflix show.
So it's a Netflix show. That's that Japanese one that's voiced over in English.
That's
what I mean. So it's all based on over there. It's really sweet. I mean, it's. I mean, essentially, we talked about it a little bit. It was essentially it's, you play games to survive. You get these visas that extend your life, but you have to complete a game to get the visa, and there's cards involved, and then so it's like a bunch of stuff that's like really, it's fun. I mean, it's like
sounds like our crew would be good at that. We like games.
Yes, 100%.
We like games a lot, actually.
A lot.
Play card games, board games.
Yeah.
We play games on Zoom ever since the gosh darn COVID.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we play a lot of games. Whether it's dice, dominoes,
yes.
cards.
Wait
a minute.
I mean, think about the euchre that we've.
Oh yeah, a tremendous amount of euchre.
I mean, that is like we have absolutely.
What is one card game we will never play as a friend group ever again?
Is it a game called Phase 10?
Yes, Phase 10. Yeah. For some reason, that broke the group. It did. Whether there was too much alcohol involved, I don't know. But it broke the group. It was like, we will never play this game as a group again.
I wasn't sure how the drive home was going to go.
Well, that was in North Carolina.
It was.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Such a long drive home to not know how things are going to go, No, I mean, I know. It was all friendly. Yeah, it was all fun. Yeah. But still, I mean, it was a good time. I mean, but that was... Yeah.
So, Alice in Borderland.
Yes.
So, we'll put that in the description. Yeah, you talked about that one before, so I'll have to
absolutely, yeah.
have to add that to my list of growing.
Absolutely, definitely. And then if I were you, I mean, I would move it up into your.
Wow.
I'm not saying not right now. I know you have the leftovers. I understand. That,
yeah, because
right?
we're cranking out Narcos Mexico now. So
gotcha. Okay.
It took a few weeks, but now we're back on that grind.
Back?
We slammed through like 6 episodes, and you know what? It's not the same. It's definitely not as well written. The characters, I don't think. I mean, I had my problems with a few of the characters in the not just Narcos. But overall, I loved it. It was awesome, and there were so many other great characters that way outweighed, the bad ones. But this one has like, several, moments that you're just like, I don't really. Let's move on. Let's go back to the cartel stuff. Let's get out of this weird drama. I'm a big Michael Pena fan, and he's kind of annoying in this show. So I don't know. It's like kind of disappointing. I'm used to. I'm used to just enjoying him and everything that he's in. So I don't know. But what about anything else? You watch anything else besides what we'll?
Well, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Later.
So I did. All right. So I've never seen the movie, which I don't know why. I mean, I'm just not. So have you ever seen the movie called Killers?
Killers. Now
with Ashton Kutcher and Ashton. Yeah. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Yes, and Katherine Heigl.
Yeah.
You watched it?
I did. You hated the movie?
I refused to watch it. Why would I ever need to watch something like that? I can tell you right now that they're definitely not going to be like my A-list go-to team. Katherine Heigl might have been pretty good and knocked up, but I don't really care for her. And Ashton, you know what? Like I said about 2.5 Men, he comes on, change that channel. I liked him as Kelso,
Yeah, see, I really liked him as Kelso. I mean, I think I've liked him in other what was that other thing?
Right, exactly.
Wait a minute. So actually, my thing's here.
You like quickly realize, like, oh wait, that wasn't Ashton. That wasn't Ashton. He's really like, oh man, this TV show punked on MTV, and
okay, hold on. All right, okay, I can't remember, but all right, Killers. Sorry.
Yes, yeah, Killers. Go ahead.
So, I watched it, and at the very beginning, I thought potentially it had potential in it. You know what I mean? So. It's so funny. All right, so had potential until you haven't seen the movie, so it's not as funny to you. But Ashton, all of a sudden, he's the killer, right? So he's this trained officer. So you're not gonna watch this. I'm gonna ruin it for you.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not full on ruin this movie.
So he literally
it was ruined when they were like, it's Ashton Kutcher and Katherine Heigl. I'm like. Great, don't need to see it.
Cool.
Thank you. Cross that off my list.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah. And then he comes strolling through, slides under a helicopter, puts a bomb on there, okay, and then stands up, and then headlocks this guy, okay, and he's silent enough until where his partner's right on the other side of the thing, and he falls into an ocean right off a yacht, okay? And the guy just swims up. He swims to shore, comes up, and now all of a sudden, the helicopter doesn't blow up, all right? And then the helicopter just flies out, blows up, and everybody at dinner says nothing about it. And I'm like, this movie's going to be terrible. I mean, this is what, like...
Yeah, right. Okay. It's already setting the motion, in motion.
So then this is the next thing, right? Guess what? Oh, wait, now, out of the blue, out of nowhere, it's 3 years later, and they're together. They had one night to where nothing happened, nothing at all, and then all of a sudden, they're together, living in a house. He's got a whole other job and this whole other thing, and then the worst part about it all, the entire thing is, when it ends up being is what you could tell about 10 minutes into the entire show.
There you go.
Entire movie. At the very end, you're like, oh, it better not be this. I'm just gonna ruin it for you, okay?
Yeah,
Because
I don't.
care.
Yeah, like
so at the very beginning, you meet this hardcore dad. His dad's really protective over his daughter. This, and this, and then Ashton comes in, and then he's dating this guy's daughter, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, the father of the daughter. Well, then he's an airport pilot, but then has he is a filthy rich man as a pilot. You're like, well, I mean, you make a lot of money, but I mean, to be the spending the money that he's spending in the movie, he's not doing that, right? That's what my whole point is.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, well, wait a second. Well, this guy is probably, you know what I mean, some sort of leader, because then Ashton's trying to get out of killing because he wants to have a family and to start the normal life. Okay, so when he wants to do that, he ends up. So that the father. And another thing is, the father was the main guy that hired everybody to kill Ashton throughout the movie. Because he is an agent and was killing Ashton. So that's what I'm saying. So that's what the whole thing. And he thought that Ashton was coming to kill him. That's why he hired people to kill them. But then they implanted in his life for 3 years to then eventually, when he said that he's done, totally done, and then he put the hit on him for $20 million. And that's why everybody's trying to kill Ashton.
Interesting. Not.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. So
I actually was falling asleep just listening to the plot.
Just listening to it. Well, that's what I'm saying. And I mean, but that's like the big plot points of the entire movie. Like throughout the entire thing, that's it. The rest is just fill in bull stuff. And it's been how long was the movie? And I told you in 6 minutes.
Bull stuff.
Yeah. I'm going PG because that's how terrible the movie was.
Yeah, I won't be watching that. I appreciate you for just trashing your time like that, but
well, okay, so but also, you know how I watch movies though. With movies, that's not like a big focus movie for me though. I don't sit down on the couch and watch a movie. I might sit there for 20 minutes while I eat dinner, and then I'm getting up and I'm cleaning or I'm throwing darts. I'm messing around at the same time. So I'm not 100% giving it my full blown attention.
Yeah.
So but that's how I watch that movie too. But it's a movie I've never watched before, and that's why I clicked it. So I mean, I paid attention to it as I'm doing what I'm doing. Right. But I'm not hardcore focused on it. Like if I was watching Tenet or something along those lines. You know what I mean? I'm sitting down and actually.
What? Yeah.
Lights turned off, TV's only thing on, blinding me. But that's what I'm doing. So.
Yeah, he was in a movie with Bernie Mac and I think Gabrielle Union, right? And Gabrielle Union. Anyways, and I'll be honest, I did watch that one and it kind of made me laugh. But also, Bernie Mac is hilarious. Well,
yes, yeah. 100%.
R.I.P. was hilarious. Yes. So, kind of fell into that whole trap.
Well, yeah,
but
we get lucky.
I did not. I watched the one where Ashton Kutcher plays the Apple guy, Steve. Steve Jobs. Jeez, wow, man. How could my brain just
I was super
go out like that? So
Ashton
Kutcher plays Steve Jobs, and I watched that movie and I'm like, no. That wasn't too good. And then that same year, another movie called Jobs came out with what's that guy's name? You know what I mean? He's been in a lot. He plays Magneto. Not Ian McKellen Magneto. He's in a lot of stuff, and I will think of his name. But go ahead. You had something to say?
I was just trying to think of what you were. But so the movie that I was thinking of that I liked Kelso win, but I think it's also because it's just the movie. But Dude's Where's My Car?
Okay, yeah, I take that back. I love that movie, and actually,
that's the movie I was trying to think of.
Wanting to watch that movie not too long ago, because man, I love that movie. Sean William Scott's my dude, though. He is one of the funniest people on this planet. 100%.
And did you like the Butterfly Effect?
What?
Did you like the Butterfly Effect?
All right, so I watched the Butterfly Effect, and I really enjoyed it. At some point in my life, I rewatched it, and I started realizing it just wasn't so good.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. So I did the same thing. As a kid, when it first came out, because it came out in 2004. So, you know what I mean? So when I watched it when I was a younger adult, whatever, I loved it. But I'm like, that's a good movie. You know what I mean? I really enjoyed it. It actually made me think a little bit. Right? It was like the first one of those type of movies.
Yeah.
And then I rewatched it. Yeah, I rewatched it with it's somebody. I don't forget who I rewatched it with.
Yeah.
And but she because she wanted to watch it, and as I'm sitting there, I'm like, man. She's enjoying it since it's her first time. But me rewatching it and knowing it, and I'm like, oh man, I'm not like
kind of
loving it.
Kind of a clunker.
It is 100%. So, anyways, but then it was Dude, Where's My Car is the one I was trying to
Dude,
think
Where's
of,
My Car? That's if I was in charge of of Rotten Tomatoes, I would force all critics to give that a 100% because it is. That movie has made me laugh. I mean, gosh, man, when did Dude, Where's My Car come out? Because I was one of my first DVDs.
In 2000.
Oh yeah, man, I was a little baby back then, man.
For sure. That's crazy.
And I love that movie. I remember seeing it in theater, laughing my freaking face off, and then my buddy had a birthday party, and we sat in the basement and watched that movie, and I laughed my freaking face off. And I'm like, I gotta get the DVD and watch this movie 100 more times.
And you did, right?
Oh, I probably did. I have the DVD still.
Can I ask you one question though? Mm-hmm. What does mine say?
Yeah. Sweet. What does mine say? Dude. Whoever wrote that, like, you're a genius.
Yeah.
It was
100%. Yeah.
so funny, man. It was so funny.
So, yeah. So, So, all right. Perfect.
Yeah.
Same wavelength then.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, so I watched The Killers. Okay, back to where we were at there. You know, so I watched The Killers.
I wouldn't like tell anybody else that, but
well,
I'm
so
just
this
kidding.
is funny. I looked at the Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh yeah, what
Guess
is
what
it?
the Rotten 10. A 10.
Oh my god! I feel
I'm
like all right, and like Ashton Kutcher is a great human being. I don't want
Yes,
to say
1000%. No.
like he does a lot for victims of human trafficking and sex trafficking and stuff like that.
He's huge in that. Yeah.
So I don't want to totally hit on Ashton Kutcher. Obviously, I love Dude, Where's My Car and everything, and I love this Kelso, but it's just maybe not meant for everything.
No.
Definitely not meant for anything remotely serious or I don't know.
He plays the perfect boyfriend to a thing.
Yeah, like
right?
your typical goofy guy.
Yes.
But oh man, I totally. Who else was in them? Oh, Katherine Heigl. So Katherine Heigl, like I feel like she has had a string of box office flops, man.
Yeah,
and it's like the world said, nah, Katherine. We don't want Katherine Heigl.
Absolutely.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, don't be wrong though. I mean, I liked her, and she had some funny parts in the movie The Killers. You know what I mean? She had some funny things, but nothing along the lines of to where I'm like, oh, I absolutely loved her in this movie. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna quote this movie to the day I die.
Nope, not one bit. The only quote I remember is when Ashton Kutcher was trying to say that when he wanted to start the family with her, he says, I just want to get to know my neighbors, and then she fell in love with him with that comment.
Got it. Okay.
Because he's never had neighbors. I
mean, it makes sense. You're like constantly on the move, You're a killer.
Yeah. So she fell in love with him. That's the only quote I remember. The only reason I just remember that's just for some reason that's a quote that sticks in my head. No meaning, no nothing else. So, but that's it. That's all I got. But so, anyways, we'll stop talking about this terrible movie. Kevin, what did you watch?
Well, yeah, we drilled down some Narcos Mexico, and there's a really fun episode they're longer episodes. I feel some of them are like a little over an hour and whatnot. Because I was like watching this thing, I'm like, a lot has happened in this freaking episode, and it will not stop. Like you guys just were dropping 2-hour episodes, like clunk. It's good. I do like it. I really like the Narcos side of it, like seeing the build up and seeing what it takes to even like have an organization like that and the part that I just get frustrated with is the DEA agent type of stuff where they're like, I'm gonna just yell and scream until I get my way, and it's just like more of the acting than story. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure like that actually happened. It's just like the way it's being portrayed, and it's just like, okay, it's kind of annoying. I would rather watch the other stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, we drilled down on that stuff. But other than that, we haven't watched anything other than, you know, we both watched a movie this week that we'll get to. But I did want to mention two things. One, we talked about a little bit of Ancient Aliens last time.
Yeah.
And episodes that I had recommended, that my sister actually recommended. So they dealt at the end a lot with like DNA and like what happens with DNA and what can happen with DNA and what we know about it. You know, it's pretty amazing stuff. And there's a Netflix show. Actually, I think it's just a documentary. It's not a show. It's called Human Nature. So if you're really into DNA, if you're like, whoa, I mean, it's an incredible thing. I mean, if you think about this, like if you're a spy and we know how to manipulate DNA, you could take somebody's blood out, put a message inside the DNA, put the blood back in the person. Now they're carrying around a message, right? And then somebody walks into the building, they extract their blood, they read the DNA, they get the message, right? Like DNA is truly like, we're only scratching the surface of what DNA is, really capable of. So Human Nature goes over like all sorts of DNA and how the human body fights off a virus, or how a human body gets taken down by a virus. I mean, it's truly amazing. I mean, when you get hit with a virus and you survive, what happens is your DNA actually captures a copy of the code of the virus, so that if that virus were to ever enter your body again, DNA puts up a warning sign that says, hey, eradicate those cells. I mean, it's amazing. Gotcha. Like you don't have to take pills for that.
It's a computer system.
It's your DNA. It's just, but it's also survival of the fittest. Some DNA can't stop it, and they might die from it. You know what I mean? It's truly amazing. So if you're curious about that kind of stuff, if you're really into science, Netflix, it's called Human Nature. It is awesome.
All right, I have to. I mean, I'm interested me. I love that. I love learning that. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It's mind blowing, actually, especially if you watch like the Ancient Alien episode, just because of when they talk about the DNA. All right, so they 3D printed a rabbit, a little rabbit figurine.
Okay.
Yeah. And within that printing is DNA. Like they've written in DNA, and within that DNA of the rabbit, it can actually self-replicate. So if they take just a small, tiny little piece of that rabbit and put it into that machine would literally replicate the exact same rabbit, just because of it had a little piece of it, because the whole thing was made out of DNA, synthetic DNA.
Wow.
I mean, it's insane. I mean, when you start thinking about stem cells and 3D printing like livers, hearts, lungs, I mean, we're going to be growing our own organs here, you know? Anyways, I was going to say before we...
Whoa, like you just like, hold on a second. Mind. Let me get my mind around this real quick.
Well, then Elon Musk with Neuralink, you know? So they implanted a chip into a pig's brain, and they can see the neurons firing in the brain real time on their machine. And basically what that's opening up to is you were born deaf, or if you were born blind, let's find that spot that's broken. We'll insert a chip, program. Oh, well, now you have traffic going to that part of your brain, and now your vision works. Now your hearing works. You know what I mean? Like, it's absolutely insane. The future is insane.
So we just got to keep it around.
Yeah, we
cycle.
just keep around until you're like, oh man, finally the organ farm's here. I can.
Yes.
I'll take a new set of lungs. I'll take a new spine if I could.
I mean, we have a friend that has a 3D printer.
Well, that's. I'm not putting that sort of plastic in my body.
I'm just saying, if in time comes if the push comes to shove, I'm not saying no to it.
All right. Well, you like
so
I have to have it. Like all the doctors are like, no.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. Another thing. So this is very important. I've talked about Tim Heidecker before. He's very funny. I think he's a very funny fella. Well, we've been expanding our horizons on Adult Swim because there's just so much bizarre content on there. Yes. We watched this show called Mostly for Millennials with Derek Beckles or I forget his exact name, but wild. I mean, it was like Eric Andre wild, and it was hilarious. Like, he's having an interview with this person. I don't know if that person knew what the heck was going on or not, but he opens up this Tide Pod like container, throws the Tide Pod in, and starts like coughing. The powder's coming out. He swallows it, and later he gets his guitar out and he coughs. And he coughs up blood all over his hand. He just like wipes it on his guitar, and he's still strumming the guitar. And it's like, I seriously am just like dying laughing because the person is looking at it. They're like, "Oh my god!" Like, I'm pretty sure you're dying. It's so messed up. And
wow,
Derek Beckles. I'm pretty sure that's his name. He is just as wild as Eric Andre, maybe more wild. I don't know.
What?
Yeah, he's crazy, man. It was a wild show. I'm really sad that it only ran for one season. But anyways, back to Tim Heidecker. Jessica is a pro at just finding random stuff. Like, I swear, like, Netflix should be writing her thank you notes. Sling should be writing her thank you notes, because if I want to watch something random, I just hand the remote to Jessica. She'll just find something. If I'm looking at something, if there's not a sitcom on that I like, I probably am not watching TV, like,
yeah.
Unless I'm like, there's, anyway. No. So she finds this show called Tim and Eric's Bedtime Stories.
Okay. And
they are fucking wild. The stories are wild. The first one that we watched has here's a full circle. Red from That 70s Show.
Okay.
He plays this priest, and it's actually really wild. I don't know. I don't really want to spoil it, but the premise is there's this kid who got in trouble with the sewer system because he's jerking it into the toilet and it's like clogging up the sewers. So they told him to stop. But anyways, years later, the parents are like, "Hey, a tornado came by." And like, "We never told you, but we switched over to septic because like you wouldn't stop." And the whole septic tank system is filled with it. Anyways, like, it's wild. It is a wild episode. There's another one that now I find myself quoting constantly because it is just so funny. It's called Baklava, and Tim Heidecker is like this. He owns this piano store, and he gets like this baklava, and he's just like, it's just so good. They're his sweet treats, And he goes through some trials and tribulations of wanting to keep eating some sweet treats, and it's freaking wild, man. It's just like, I don't know how you write this stuff or whoever. I don't know how they act with straight faces. I want to know how many takes they're taking. I mean, it's seriously. I would never be able to hang out with them and be like, I'll never take anything you say serious, as I'm pretty sure you're just messing with me 24/7. It's called Tim and Eric Bedtime Stories on Adult Swim. Check that out.
All right, I'll look at it. And then just so you know, back to the first one you were talking about, the mostly for millennials.
Yeah.
Okay, so Derek Beckles is the guy.
Yeah.
And then you got DJ
Durst.
DJ. Yeah, Durst, bro.
It's Fred Durst, dude.
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
so when they said DJ Durst and they show him, I'm like, what? That's really Fred Durst? And I'm like, wait a minute. First off, like, when did he become a DJ?
Yeah.
Second of all, how did you get him on this show? Like, it is a wild show. And he just sits there and DJs, and then sometimes does weird things like cuts up meat, or it's so weird. It is the weirdest show.
Right,
I mean, Derek Beckles comes in on a remote controlled toilet, and he's just like pooping in front of the audience, but not really pooping. I don't know though. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
To be honest, I wouldn't put it past him. He like pees his pants and he's like, haha, that was just to distract you from this. And he turns around and he like pooped his pants. And then he's like, but that was really just a distraction for this. And he turns around and he's like, it's his period and it's all red now. I was like, what is going on, man? It's so weird, man. It's
all right. I'm going to have to give it a shot. I'm going to have to get into that mode and give it a shot.
If you're an Eric Andre fan, you'll watch that show. You'll be like, this is the most wildest stuff. Like, you'd have to just improv. Like, I don't even know how you write this stuff down. You're like, oh yeah, we're totally gonna film this.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. I think it has to be some sort of improv, a tiny bit. It has to be something. Like, I mean, there's no way
your brain to work that way and write some of this stuff down is just beyond me, man. It's fucking wild. I have not unlocked my brain potential. If that is,
if that's happening,
those guys should be getting writing credits like Golden Globes for best written show, because it's like, yeah, you might deserve to be in an insane asylum, but man, you really killed it on that show.
That's funny.
So, the last thing I was going to say is I've written these 2 children's books called Clementine and Friends, and they're on Amazon Kindle books or something like that. So
nice, okay.
I'll drop the link below, but they're geared towards nature, and so the first one's a girl named Clementine talking with trees, and the trees are like teaching her how they both benefit from each other and why it's important to have trees, because I feel like human beings kind of forget what trees do. They're like, let's put more buildings up. Buildings don't give you oxygen, but anyways. No. And then the second one is more about like recycling. But they're just like geared towards maybe like getting kids more involved in being
could be like a sweet, like a school book, like a school kid book. I mean, that could be
Now there's unfortunately they're just Kindle books. There's no illustrations. If you are an illustrator though, hit me up. Let me know.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah, it would. That would be sweet.
Yeah.
But enough about that. Let's get to the meat and potatoes.
Let's get to it.
We watched a Netflix movie this week.
Yes.
It's a recent movie. Rosamund Pike, Peter Dinklage. I Care a Lot.
There it is.
Why don't you start off?
Okay.
What were your thoughts on the movie?
Okay, so my thoughts on it, I mean, without trying to, totally ruin anything of it, but the one thing I did not enjoy about the movie, and I'm just going to be totally upfront about this, okay, is I didn't like the fact that there was truly, I don't know how to not say this without, there's no good guy, okay? We'll leave it to me. We'll leave it at that, right? And that's one thing that I did not like about the movie. Not that like, okay, so they make you care about the characters. I'm not saying that, because I like the premise of it to a certain degree, and I like, you know what I mean, like of like, what's happening. But there's also, you know what I mean. Anyways, so I really did enjoy it, but it was hard for me because at first I'm not gonna lie, I hated the lady. I just thought the way like That makes me like super mad. What she's doing makes me angry. Actually,
yeah.
So
sure.
yeah, like so, like that bothered me.
You are
man. And then all of a sudden,
piece of garbage.
yes, 100%,
Right.
100%. And then all of a sudden now, and I'm not trying to like, I don't want to use the word victim like that, but now you're playing that role though, with this other thing. But you are the first one to initiate the entire issue. Like you know what I mean? So like that bothered me. I'm having a hard time. Now, did I absolutely hate it? Because I love Peter Dinklage, but I just don't know why, man. Just since Game of Thrones, he just makes me, you know what I mean? His character was a little funny in parts, you know what I mean? He was, but one thing I want to know, Kevin, I want you to answer this question. Do you think he was really doing those gymnastics?
Yes, I do, man.
Dude,
that was so impressive. I'm like, that, you
Yeah.
MFer, I want to be able to do that,
for
man.
sure.
That was cool.
So-
he was just like, and then he just lets himself down. Like, damn, dude.
Yeah. Well, so that's what made me question it.
He's
though.
like, that's
Let
the
him-
Marvel treatment, bro.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, yes.
He's
Yep,
like, I was in a
100%.
Marvel movie, bro. I just have muscles from now on.
Yeah.
Like, I am just strong as fuck now. So
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So that's just my opinion on it. Did I hate the movie? No, I didn't hate the movie. I didn't. There's not hatred. I'm not gonna say it was not one of my top 10 movies ever. You know what I mean? It's not there, but I watched it and it was decent. But that's what I just truly didn't like about it. I just didn't like that.
Yeah,
aspect of things.
I kind of I definitely agree with what you're saying because, you really don't care about any character at a certain point because they're all bad. So I honestly, I'm like, I'm not really rooting for anyone. I'm rooting for the mob to win because I hate this lady so bad. But then,
100%.
All right. So I'll just tell you my side then.
Thank you.
All right. What a piece of garbage. Jeez, man.
Yeah.
There was a lot of potential. I thought like the first half of the movie was pretty good. I liked it. It was good.
Yes.
I was enjoying it. I really loved, Jessica did too, the conversation between the really rich lawyer and Rosamund Pike's character. I can't exactly remember her name right now.
I know what you're talking about.
But the way they're talk to each other, because everything is so vague, but they're like, oh, is that a threat? No, but you have employees, you have a job, you have a life.
No.
You're not going to have any of that.
No.
And it's just like the way he was talking to her, like it was just so funny because it's like, I'm not going to tell you you're going to die. I'm not going to tell you I work for the mob, but you're going to get a good hint that you kind of messed with the wrong guy. Now, I'd say when the movie turned for me, there's a specific scene when the three mob people go into the care center to get the lady out, and there's this big shootout. First off, I'm like, what is that security guard doing with a gun? Like, that just seems dangerous, right? Like,
yes, 100%.
I don't know why that security guard would necessarily need a gun. A taser, pepper spray.
100%, yes.
A baton, sure. But a full-blown gun, I don't know. Felt a little odd to me, right?
Especially carrying on person. Yeah. Having it in an office, having somewhere protection that way is a little different, but okay.
Straight shoots the guy.
Yep.
There's this ridiculous shootout. And then, of course, it ends with the oxygen tank getting hit, boom, 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 and hits somebody in the face. And I'm like, is this a slapstick comedy movie?
No.
I did not get the hint that that's what this was. Why is this in this movie? Like, it was goofy.
Yes. So, do you know that movie...
Look at the audience score.
What? No, is listed as a musical / comedy.
Oh, so that's for Golden Globes category. They mixed the two. They mixed the two.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, thank you. But it's not a musical, so it's listed as a comedy.
It's a comedy. It's a comedy. That's just for like Golden Globes type of stuff.
Got it.
So like the actual genre of the movie is going to be probably crime comedy. Or crime drama or black comedy type of stuff. But that's when the movie really changed for me, because then It just was like, okay, well, what is this movie? And then it just became like this game of, oh, I'm gonna do something to her, oh, kill her, but then nobody follows through. So how did you ever amass all this money when everybody who works for you is an absolute moron? They can't even break the lady out. They can't even have a shootout right. They put the lady in the trunk. Okay, also, you know what else pisses me off? Netflix releases a trailer. In that trailer, you see her soaking wet going, ugh. So when we see the big scene of her in the trunk, there's nothing for me to worry about because I saw that she's already out of the trunk. Like, you've already spoiled the movie. Like, it was stupid. Why would you do that? Like, I literally could care less if she, because you already know.
Yes.
So I'm like, that's just stupid. So I'm like, anybody who watched the trailer knows that she gets out. So there's no build up. I could care less. And I hate the lady, so I really could care less.
Yeah.
So that made me mad because you wouldn't go and check. You wouldn't want to make sure that that person didn't get out or is dead. Like, that seems pretty stupid. Or put a bullet in somebody's head if you really want them dead. Like, that's just, you're the mob. Why do you have to make it look organic? Why do you care?
Exactly. Like, and that's in twice, too. So,
yeah.
The girlfriend, too.
The girlfriend, they go and beat her up, and then they leave the gas on.
Yeah.
But, all right, so she's the main character, Rosamund Pike, is able to go, oh, man, I think I'm there's some spoilers, huh? But
we've already,
But at least the spoiler is in the trailer.
Yes.
So I'm not totally ruining anything.
No.
I will recommend a movie this podcast because I will not recommend this. This. All right, good. I'm so mad. The movie wasn't even done yet, and I'm like sitting there. I'm like, just be over. This is awful. Like, as soon as before the ending, I'm like, why don't you work for me, right? And boom, what do you know? Instead of me paying you $10 million, why don't you work with me, right? Yeah. And then they go into every meticulous detail about how this is going to go, and then they show us how it's going to go, and then they show us all this stuff, and I'm like, just end the movie. We get it.
Yeah.
You're literally slapping me in the face with all this stuff, and I don't care. The bad people got away with it. That doesn't make me happy.
No, at all.
But the ending,
Thank you.
Yeah. So spoiler alert. I don't care. Whatever. This movie was a clunker, dude. I was so mad. I was 10 minutes, 20 minutes before the ending. I'm just sitting there. I'm literally like almost like same words, just not in the right the way they say it. I was like, I'm like literally reciting the script before they're even saying it because it's like this is stupid. This is a bad movie. It's a long movie because they filled it with so much stuff. Like so much stuff that it's like you're slapping me in the face with all this information. It was so stupid.
Well, the one thing I don't like about it either, I hate movies sometimes where there's no time to it. You have no idea.
Oh yeah. Was this in a day? Was this? Yeah. It just felt weird, man.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I will agree with that. You know. I mean, and to.
All right. With that aside from that, Peter Dinklage is the man. He's awesome. I love his acting. He's great.
Yep.
Rosamund Pike, holy shit, she's awesome. She's great.
Yep.
I hated that character, man. Like I'm like you are a piece of garbage, and I don't care whatever happens to you.
Yeah. I don't want to ruin anything, but the scene where this sweet mobster dude gets taken out by a girl with a bag and one hit with the bat, and he's out.
All right.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying.
That goes down a whole line of shit I freaking hate because in their car they just have these magical gasoline cans. They also have unlimited tasers and now I have a wig and a disguise. When did you do all this? You just happen to have all this stuff? No. You happen to have the skills and the detective knowledge and all the contacts? Like everything is super situational, stupid. It's a stupid movie.
but you don't know. You never know what's in a girl's purse, man. So you can't say where she gets these weird items from.
No, BS. No, ain't
kidding.
buying that BS. No way.
Come on, bro. An extra set of glasses.
No way.
Like literally glasses. And all of a sudden she wears glasses and a wig.
Oh, awful. It was awful.
Let me ask you. Oh, never mind. I want to keep giving away the movie, but.
So before the movie ended, I'm looking up this movie. It's gotta be awfully rated, and like when I looked last night, it was 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I'm like, go screw yourself. Who the hell is giving this an 80%? It's awful.
I would definitely not give it. Yeah, I would not give it an 80. I
looked at the audience score. It was at a 36%. Yeah. I'm like, now that is what I would give it. I would give it like a 20, 30, sure. It's rotten. It sucks because there's good performances in it.
Great.
Rosamund Pike, I really liked. The old lady, I wish I knew her name, but she was good. I really liked when she was all drugged up and she's like, you're not going to get anything from me. She's like, oh, you really messed up now, Like I was laughing at that because I'm like, hell yeah, kill this lady, she's awful. But as soon as I knew like I guess I don't want to ruin too much, huh?
Yeah. No, that's the thing. So
I guess we'll have to talk about this later, but I'll be honest, like, if you're listening and we've ruined it, we didn't really ruin it. We're kind of saving you some time.
Yeah, I agree.
I would not recommend this movie.
It was something that I watched. I wouldn't tell somebody to never ever go. I wouldn't say go watch this movie, like a high recommendation.
Yeah, I would just simply not recommend. If you want to watch it, go ahead. But I'm not going to be the one who's saying, "Oh yeah, you gotta see it."
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. If you want to see Rosamund Pike, watch Gone Girl or The World's End. She's an amazing actress, and like I said, her performance was good. Great.
Yeah.
She won for Best Actress for the Golden Globes for the movie, and I'm like, I could see it because she's great in it.
She did, yeah, absolutely.
I just hated the characters.
Yes,
which is a good thing. Like you portrayed a terrible human being, and I hated you. So you did your job.
Exactly, 100%.
But it's hard for me to be like, oh, why would you get a Golden Globe for that? But then I guess like Joaquin Phoenix, right, for Joker, you're not really supposed to root for a mass killing clown, but
you win
Best Picture. So very similar. So she's an awful person. I mean, just taking advantage. And then I'm like, I swear, like Jessica and I were literally having a conversation about like, amassing wealth and just building it on being like an actual good person and not screwing somebody over or screwing multiple people over. And then we start this movie and she's like, I'm a lioness and I this is what I do. If you're a nice person, you'll never get ahead. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm just, I guess I'll keep my day job,
Absolutely, yeah. Because I could never be that type of person.
I could not. Gosh, I hope I could never be that type of person.
Yeah. I don't know.
We will post a spoiler alert.
Absolutely,
for this episode, because I definitely, in my rant, I know I probably have leaked some information. I'm guessing that you could probably guess the end of the movie before it happens, though. It's not like 100%. It's
no. Well, it's just they do. It's just like everything else. They introduce something to then bring it back later on. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. They have to make sure they add that one scene in, so then if something happens later on, it's a bring back. That's what it is. You know what I mean? The whole thing was. I mean, don't be wrong though. Like once again, well, never mind. I agreed with the ending. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? But I mean, not you know what I mean. But like to a to a certain. I'm not saying, but yeah. So
yeah. I will not spoil that. But I was not a fan. Yeah.
So I was here.
Yeah, I was here. I was like, turn this junk off. I've had enough. Yeah. And when the ending just kept going and going on, I'm like, why? Why do we have to be subjected to all of this stuff? Like, we got it. Like,
yeah, we understand. 100%.
We totally understood it. But yeah, you kept having to slap us in the face. 80%. What critics? What critics are you? And then Interstellar is 76. Are you kidding me?
It makes them too hard, man.
Yeah, right. These are the people who are like, well, that was a very straightforward movie. I loved it. It was like Interstellar or anything like that. It's like, oh, well, I had to think, so that's automatically like one thumbs down, Like, if I have to read anything, well, then it's over,
Yep.
There's definitely some new ones that I want to see. I know this month Justice League's the Snyder Cut is coming out, so I'm very excited about that.
When is
and
that?
then what's that?
When's the date?
I don't remember. It's sometime in March.
Trying to remember. Okay.
Very excited about that one.
Yeah.
I can't remember what else was coming out with HBO Max. I took a look at the Netflix lineup, and I'm not like, super jazzed about anything that's really coming up, but we'll find a new movie to watch and talk about.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I can't think of anything that I've seen that's coming out either. I don't know. We'll do it. We'll figure it out.
Okay. In the meantime, if you're looking for a real slapstick comedy movie, that's definitely got a better premise, way better acting, and it makes you laugh and like human beings a little bit. It's a movie called Airplane. You ever seen that one?
No, I haven't.
You've never seen Airplane, dude? Oh my god,
so.
It's such a great
Pretty
movie. It's amazing. So that's the podcast movie recommendation of the week.
All right.
Check out Airplane, especially for if there's anybody younger out there like Corey here, who's never seen Airplane. There is a second one, and it's pretty damn hilarious as well. But the first one is funny, very, very, very funny. What I was gonna look up is Airplane 1980. Actually, it's Airplane because there's an exclamation point in the title. 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. I shit you not. That is amazing, dude.
Wow.
So I am recommending a better movie than.
That's so funny.
That's so funny. So this spoof comedy takes shots at the slew of disaster movies that were released in the 70s. When the passengers of crew of a jet are incapacitated due to food poisoning, a rogue pilot with a drinking problem must cooperate with his ex-girlfriend turned stewardess to bring the plane to a safe landing. Yeah, it's awesome. Leslie Nielsen's in it, Julie Haggerty, Robert Hayes. Just one of the funniest movies in the world. If you like slapstick, I mean, have you ever watched like The Naked Gun with Leslie Nielsen?
Yeah.
It's just like that stuff. It's all that
Got it. Okay,
slapstick stuff. That's so. What do you call that? It's so literal. Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Leslie Nielsen is like, surely you can't be serious. Is like, yes, I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. Like.
That's where that comes from.
Yeah, the movie Airplane.
Yeah, nice. Now I get it. All right, cool. Yeah. I've heard that so often too, but I'm like, I don't know where that comes from.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure in Community it's said multiple times, but it's fine.
Yeah, right.
I'm pretty sure.
Well,
okay.
But yeah, that's
movie recommendation.
Airplane. Movie recommendation. Yeah, Airplane. Because I'll tell you what, I'd much rather watch Airplane twice rather than.
You need to cleanse. Is what you need.
Yeah.
If you want to cleanse that movie into this movie, watch Airplane. Is that what you're telling me?
I was excited because it's Rosamund Pike and Peter Dinklage. I'm like, man, that's
Peter Dinklage. That's the thing. 100%.
I'm very excited, and it's just.
Yeah.
I mean, you nailed it on the head. Where you're like, these people are just awful. So like,
yeah,
you're not really rooting for anyone
at all.
At all. That's kind of like, how did this script even get made?
Well, the funny thing is at first, I just want to keep ruining it.
Yeah, right.
I just want to keep talking about it. The more I think about it, the more I hate it too. Yes. So, but you know exactly what I'm getting ready to say. I'll just say it the grandma, okay? I felt bad for her at first. I'm just saying. I'm gonna leave it at that. But in the middle of it, do I really?
Right? Yeah. Like, do I really?
I'm not sure.
Don't know her exact history, so should I? I don't really know.
I don't know.
I would have to agree.
Because she's not a big enough person. She is in the scenes, in the part of she's actually not in the scene though. If you think about it that way.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? So she's definitely a big part of it. She's talked about it a lot, but she's not in the scene. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's funny because I ranted last night about how just absolutely awful it was, and I told Jessica, I was like, well, at least I got my frustrations out with the movie. I don't have to totally crap on the movie on the podcast. And Jessica's like, don't change who you are. And I'm like,
yeah,
all right, I'm totally crapping on that movie.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, give it to them. Give the people the truth they need, Kevin.
Yeah, there's a point where, you've seen the movie and you don't agree with that Rotten Tomatoes score. Sometimes you watch a movie and you're like, I agree with that Rotten Tomatoes score. Actually, most times I do. And then you see 80% and you're like, where in the hell did you get that? Like, have enough critics not watched it yet? Is that what it is? Like, and then when I clicked on it, I saw 36%. I'm like, okay, now that's making some sense.
That's way more better.
And
as Mac would say,
that's my opinion. There are other people out there that probably loved it. They probably thought it was just absolutely amazing. And I probably don't like their categories of movies that they love.
That's true. Yes, absolutely. That's true. I mean, I kind of want those guys to email you though.
Yeah, I would love to hear from.
I would love.
I would love to hear a defense of the movie. Like, if you truly really enjoyed the movie, I'd love to hear from it. I'd like to be. Yeah. I'd like to have my side swayed. I can be bought.
Yeah. Actually, very cheaply.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's funny.
Yeah. But that's all I got.
Okay. All
what
right.
you got?
So, speaking of, we got on, the movie,
yeah.
the movie that we hate, so I looked up a little things about Peter Dinklage, so that's what my facts are going to be of the week, I'm just going to talk a little bit about him, I'm not going to dive in too much, but we're going to talk about some awards and some, some Peter Dinklage in life,
Cool. Peter Dinklage.
I should say.
Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
Peter Dinklage.
Tyrion Lannister? This is what I should say.
Tyrion Lannister?
Tyrion. I said Tyrion, didn't I?
Yeah.
Tyrion.
Has it been that long, Corey?
Yeah. Well, no, it's funny because I just looked down and I read the word. It just happened. But yeah, I guess
Tyrion Lannister.
Yes, but wow. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
He won. His whole entire career came from that show. Not like
I was gonna say he's been in a bunch of other stuff.
Huge, but but this is what I think this is what brought him to who he is.
Man, the
Peter Dinklage, Dinklage.
The courtroom scene in Game of Thrones where he's being charged for the murder of Joffrey, and his speech is just like, man. I remember when that was on TV. I'm like, I'm gonna rewatch this like 3 or 4 times because he is so good.
He's great. Absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. Super impressive. So, he was awesome. I didn't actually realize that he actually got into acting, kind of late a little bit. So he was born June 11th, 1969. Okay. But he actually, under his credits for his acting, he actually didn't start till 1995.
Interesting.
So that's 79, 89, 99. Well, so no, I guess it's still 20.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Actually, it's not bad. Actually, yeah. Never mind. They actually. So I was reading something what people were talking about, and they actually said that he made the best decision that he could have ever made as a actual actor by saying that he did not want to play. He had a spot for, I think it was the Wizard of Oz. I read. And then something else. It was he was to play a troll or something that his stature, you know what I mean. So with that, that's actually he said he never want to play one. He never.
Yeah, why if you want to be a serious actor, why
exactly?
would you?
Yeah, exactly.
You're
So don't
typecasted
use
for the rest
that.
of your life.
Exactly. So that's like, don't do that. So he said, and then so there's like 2 articles that I read about it that I guess I wasn't reading the full articles, but like, you know what I mean, like titles and stuff.
Yeah.
And they 2 different places said the same thing. And I'm like, that's kind of cool. It's like, it's kind of cool if you really think about it, that some small decisions that you make in your career could be make your decision for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So I mean, just saying no to to know. I'm pretty sure it's a Wizard of Oz. I don't
think so, man. I'm gonna say no on that one.
So
he was born in '69.
Yeah, when the Wizard, I guess. What am I thinking of then?
I have no
Willy
idea.
Wonka, dude.
Wizard
I'm sorry.
Okay, I was gonna say Wizard
Willy
of Oz
Wonka.
is a 1939 movie. So
I kept saying the Wizard of Oz. That is so stupid.
A little bit before
so
Peter
stupid.
Dinklage's time.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I'm picturing everything. I'm picturing the chocolate stream and the river as I'm saying the Wizard of Oz too, like an idiot. Like, what am I doing?
You didn't want to be an Oompa Loompa,
Right.
and that makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. So he like just didn't. But there's other ones too, like other like ones that you never even think about. You know what I mean? But that was like one of the big ones that he said no to because of that. So he actually, it was pretty cool. He's actually had quite a bit of awards here. So actually, pretty much a lot of them are for Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I mean, he won. He won a in the billboards. He's got 3 billboards for the Marvel, he actually. He actually got through some in Elf. That's the other one I was thinking of. Elf was one that he got in, which still makes me. What is his name? Oh, I could think about it in the movie.
Yeah,
I'm gonna come back to it because he just
Elf
makes me laugh so.
More
Yeah,
time.
He's an angry elf. That's so funny. I love it. So yeah, it's pretty. I mean.
Miles Finch.
There it is. Boom. Miles Finch. So, but yeah, I mean, Living in Oblivion. Did you ever watch that one? That was his film debut. You ever seen that? Yeah. This is actually my dad. Watched it. It has what's that guy's name? Hold on. Is it Steve Buscemi?
Yeah, Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, so Steve Buscemi, and then he's in that movie. That was his first film thing, and I just know that because my father. It was a 1995 movie. That's that because that was his first movie that he's ever. That's why his career started in 1995. And then that's about all the ones that I've seen. I've seen like the Chronicles of Narnia. The Prince Caspian one. He was in that one. I've seen that one. Death at a Funeral. Did you watch that?
Oh man, yeah. That was a funny movie, man. Yeah. That's with is that Chris? Oh man,
Chris Rock.
No,
Chris Rock.
Yeah. But
yeah.
The one guy who takes acid or something. He takes like a hallucinogenic, man. or it was the wrong guy in the casket, wasn't it? Wasn't it the wrong guy? I think they had the wrong.
No, it was the right guy in the casket. No, it was the right guy. He knocked it over.
There was something.
They knocked it over.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw that movie. That was a really funny movie.
It was funny.
I forgot Dinklage really was in that one. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. So yeah, he was actually he's one of those characters that it's that hush hush thing, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, yeah. For
So
sure.
you just don't talk about that. You just don't bring it up. So
that's funny.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So, but yeah, but that's all I got. I liked it. You know what I mean? He's got so he's got 61 nominations, 8 Primetime Emmy Awards, 14 Screen Actor Guild Awards, 4 Primetime Emmy Awards, and a Screen Actor Guild Award and a Golden Globe Award as well.
Man.
So I mean, he's done. I mean, dude's good, man.
Got a lot of shelf space with awards up there.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's done a fantastic job. Well, did I say he received? Because he only received 15, which is still huge.
Oh, that's still a tremendous amount.
Yeah, but then he's out of 57 nominations total. is what he got. Like, out of like all the awards,
I mean,
off the screen,
just to be nominated. I mean, that's cool.
Well, that's huge.
You know? Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, think about how many movies are produced a year. You know what I mean? The movies that you have no idea. I mean, you know, so it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But that's it, man. That's all I got. Peter Dinklage. He's
Peter
an awesome
Dinklage.
character.
Have you ever seen Gone Girl?
No, I have not.
All
No,
right.
you brought it up earlier, and that's something that I should watch it. You brought it up a couple times.
It's an incredible movie. Like,
Yeah.
I probably said WTF 100 times during that movie.
Really?
I'm like, what the is going on? This movie's insane. Rosamund Pike. You'll watch her and be like, yeah.
Different lady?
Oh no, actually, I'd be like, same lady. No, she's a phenomenal actress. But yeah, Ben Affleck too. Actually, it's directed by David Fincher, and the reason why Ben Affleck got the cast is because of his smile. You know.
Oh wow.
But it makes sense in the movie when you see it. But
Gotcha.
dude,
Okay.
that movie's wild, man. You like watch that, where you're like, what? What?
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can find it on Vudu.
Yeah, you could definitely find it on Vudu.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'll find it then.
Yeah. But yeah, that's so there's another recommendation then. If you have not, all right. Actually, watch Airplane still, but here's like a real recommendation. If you want to watch Rosamund Pike act her butt off and it being a really good movie, because I'll say she was a great actress and a great actor, and I care a lot, but I just didn't care for the movie. I don't care a lot about the movie, but Gone Girl, man, that seriously was one wild film. David Fincher is one hell of a director, man. One hell of a director, man.
One hell of a director.
But yeah, I'm going to stop talking now because then I'll recommend like 6 other movies. So why don't you all go on, stop listening, stop watching, get on with your day, and make sure you have a wonderful week.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.